And hello everyone, thank you for tuning in to The Other People's Show, Friday, May 23rd, 10:31 p.m. on this, it's kind of a cool May night. We're joined in studio by David and Lana. Thank you for joining.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Lana's not joining, I was wrong. Someone's joining, I'm not sure who though, but it's definitely not Lana. So it might sound like her voice, but it's only an impersonator. It's not her. What?
It's definitely not me.
No, it definitely isn't. But thank you for tuning in, and go to all the social media pages, the Facebook, Spotify, YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. So I teased a moment ago on Real Talk. We had a good discussion, if you're just tuning in, on Cool World. So you all have seen the movie, probably Scream, Son of the Mask.
Yeah.
Malibu's Most Wanted, maybe some of these movies. So the star of those movies, Jamie Kennedy, will be calling into the show next week.
Oh, what? Word?
He will be over at the Kingsport, the con that's going on over there, like the Scarefest, I think. And I reached out to him yesterday, and he responded right before the show that he will be calling into the show next week.
Dope.
So very cool. Very cool.
Golf claps.
Yes. Now, I did meet him many, many years ago. And, in 2009, he did some stand-up. And he was dating the then fabulous Jennifer Love Hewitt. Okay. So, when I was getting a picture with Jamie Kennedy, Jennifer Love Hewitt was over at the merchandise table. And I really wanted to go over and speak to her and get a picture with her. But I was too nervous and shy, so I didn't do it. Because I didn't want to seem kind of just...
Man's got some butterflies. He got two.
So I got a picture with him. I didn't go to her. I just observed her from afar for a moment and then moved on. So what's been going on, guys? It's been a while since either one of you all have been in studio. Not Lana. It's been a long time since you've been on. And David, it's been, over a month at least, wouldn't you say?
It's been a few months, it seems like.
So you've been working now.
My ass off for the corporation like an idiot.
Now you were telling me before. Now you did all different types of shifts. You just weren't doing just one.
Yeah, they were just putting me anywhere and everywhere. And I just.
Well, that shows that
I changed my availability. So.
Okay. Well, you do. I see you have on a anime shirt.
Yeah, my Naruto hoodie.
And you've got big anime coming up soon.
Yeah, I finally got the profile pictures.
Okay.
I just got to come up with I guess the YouTube page now, and I guess a little intro.
Okay. So that'll be coming up later this summer. Big anime.
Yeah.
That'll be fun.
Yeah, I've got the festival coming up in June, so I'd say once I get back from that.
Right. Because that's what, a couple-day festival?
No, I'll be there for I'll be gone for 7 days.
Okay, so it's a whole week. Okay. Now, where did you say this takes place at?
Rothbury, Michigan.
Okay, and what's the festival called?
Electric Forest.
Now,
it's hosted by the String Cheese Incident.
Okay, now didn't I see someone, it seems, on my Facebook page had posted something about it, and I think you had commented on their picture.
Oh, yeah, Ariel, yeah.
Is she performing there?
No, she's not performing. I think she's working. I think she's staff. I think
okay.
She's gonna be parking. I think she said.
Okay, that'll be cool. And
but
that's
that basically gives her all access to those. So
right. Okay, I had not Lana asking me for a pin, so we'll see what Not Lana has to say. But
not very much.
Not very much.
Maybe. We'll see how this conversation plays.
Well, so have you had a good week, David?
Oh, yeah.
Much better now that you're on the show?
Oh, yeah.
Good. Because, it is lonely being in here on the show, trying to do the show.
I kept watching. I'm like, oh, man.
Talking by
yourself. But it's like, having to... Because, typically it's so weird because they were here, until I changed my availability, I was working, Saturday mornings.
Really early?
Yeah.
Didn't you have to be there, 4 a.m. or something like that?
I'd have to be up at, 4 and be there at, 5.
Okay. Now,
that's, my schedule now, though. they're working me mornings, but I'm only working 25 hours a week now. So
Okay. And you how much were you doing before?
I think 40.
Okay. So you've been cut down just a little bit then.
Yeah.
Now I've got to make another trip. I took a trip last week down to Sumter, South Carolina, and going back probably Sunday, and it was not a bad trip at all. You know, I don't mind driving it, but on the way back, when I got to about Asheville, is when all that heavy rain started. So from Asheville all the way back, this was
Crazy rain.
when was this? Last Saturday morning. It took me about 3 hours, maybe 3 hours and 15 minutes to get from Asheville back to Wise, just due to the heavy rain.
Yeah.
And it was so heavy that I could maybe go 35 miles per hour. I could not go very fast at all.
Yeah, it's crazy when that's one thing I always noticed, like growing up. Whenever I'd make trips from here to anywhere like in that area or like to Knoxville, it's like if it was raining, it was always so hard and you had to go like so slow.
Oh, I hate it. I hate it. Now, I do like to travel, and I don't mind, and I do drive often. I drive a lot each week, but the rain is just heavy rain.
God awful.
Yeah, it is.
I got worried about my freaking banana plant I just got. I just set it outside the other day, and like I wake up the next morning and it had been like raining really hard, and I was like, oh.
Did it ruin it? Destroy it?
No, it's doing great.
Okay, very
I'm
cool.
happy, yeah.
Now, I was going to ask you all. You know, the season of a lot of concerts are coming up. Usually, you know, a lot of bands and acts go on tour and such in warmer weather. What were some of your all's first musical concerts that you've went to?
My very first one was it was actually with Lexi. It was actually her very first one.
Okay.
It was a concert over in Johnson City. I forgot where it was at. It's like the one place that they have like all the concerts. I don't
Is
know.
it like Freedom Hall?
Yeah, Freedom Hall.
Okay.
Yeah, Freedom Hall. Yeah. We seen it was Foles, Bear Claw, Silver Sun Pickups, and Cage the Elephant.
Okay, that sounds like a pretty good.
Really great lineup.
Yeah.
I thought I was just going there to see Cage the Elephant. Lo and behold, I was like, oh, Silver Sun Pickups is there? I was like, oh, great.
When was this?
I loved it. 2016, I believe.
Okay, so not too well. 2016 now is 9 years ago. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy that 2016 is 9 years ago.
Yeah.
Does it seem like 9 years ago to you?
No.
Me either. What about you, not Lana? Does it seem like 9 years ago?
I've been to many concerts, and I'm sitting here trying to think of the name of the band, and that's sad that I don't remember very much, but it's not so sad if you understand the situation. I know that Finger 11 was there.
Oh.
So it was kind of like a festival?
No, it was a concert, and the headliner was, and I'm drawing a blank here, because I'm looking at your little outline, and I'm like, musical first, when concerts, do you... And I thought, what was the first music that I'd heard when younger that I grew a very, very fondness of? And I needed that pen because I wrote down Roy Orbison.
Okay.
That's funny you mentioned that. Growing up, I used to wear sunglasses some way, and my mama used to get a crack at it. She's like, "You look like Roy Orbison." She's like, "It's the way you wear it over your hair." And I'm like, "What do you mean?" And she would like show me pictures, and like it's something like the way it go over his bangs or something. I don't know.
That's pretty cool. Now, did you know Roy Orbison before she mentioned that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, my mama introduced me to like all kinds of great music growing up, all kinds of classical greats. You know, Richie Valens, Roy Orbison, Buddy.
Buddy Holly?
Yeah.
Now, you say this was one of your first musical albums?
I had it on vinyl. My mother listened to it a lot. It was one of her favorites.
Okay.
And there randomly is a song that he has titled Lana.
What's it called?
Lana.
Okay.
And as not Lana, I can say that I'm pretty sure that's how she chose my name.
Oh, from this song?
Yeah.
From the song.
Okay. I don't know this particular song. So let's see what Not Lana has to say on the Roy Orbison song Lana.
Yeah, I think that's all about me.
This could be your Not Lana's theme song.
Not Atlanta's theme song.
Had you ever heard that song,
Yeah.
David? Had you?
Yeah.
I never had actually heard. That's a good song.
Yeah, it is. It is a good one.
Um,
I love it.
I was trying to think, like, I guess all of us, one of the first, musical things that we listen to is something that our parents have, maybe we've heard them listen to.
Yeah.
And that always takes me back to when I was really young, there were this thing called 8-tracks. Like you've seen those before. Everyone. So
I mean, I
I've
understand.
ridden in
I'm
cars with
young, but,
8-track players in, like, I don't know, my late teens. So that would be like the late 1990s.
which you were in a car in the late 1990s with an 8-track?
Sure was.
What car?
Ran like a dream.
What kind of car was it?
I can't remember. My aunt had purchased it off of someone. But it was great because we actually had 8 tracks to play.
Okay. Now, I do remember when I was younger, there was 8 tracks. This was when I was a real little kid. And also, there were some Casey and the Sunshine Band albums, like records. And this song was a song that I listened to a lot. Have you all heard this one before?
I've heard this. I have this on vinyl.
Have you heard this one, David?
I heard this, but it's a nice little funky jam.
It is, isn't it?
Look, I'm a funk man. I love funk all day long.
I hadn't actually heard this song in a long
I
time.
love some funk and jazz.
If I might interrupt, what's the last concert that we've been to?
What, the most recent?
Most recent. Mine was about a year ago.
Yeah, you did go to a concert about a year ago. And it was, what was the concert?
It was In This Moment. It was a really, really good, interesting time. Stage show was a little, over the top. But
Like theatrical.
Yes, and possibly in a theatrical way that's not for every audience.
Right?
But it was a good show. I sang most every song. It was really fun.
Now, one of the first songs
Nice.
by In This Moment that a girl named Lana told me about was the In the Air Tonight version.
Oh yes, that's probably one of the best
Covers?
cover versions of In the Other Night from Phil Collins that you could possibly say, wow. Changes the song. Might even change the meaning from what his was.
Yeah.
Because he actually wrote that song after a specific traumatic event.
Yeah. A drowning
Yes, a drowning.
of a child.
Yes, of a child, but I think she's doing it in a way to bring up different trauma. And Maria's hot. Can we all agree on that?
I think so, too.
Yes.
David saying, like we all know. We all know.
Yeah.
So what about you, David? What's been your most recent show?
I mean, it was Electric Force last year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I remember you talking about... And that was one of the last
I did get
things...
to see Ludacris there. That was pretty cool.
Oh, Ludacris was there? Was it the
That
most
was really
random
cool.
person that was there, Ludacris?
Yeah.
Okay.
There was a random star last year. We get Mike Posner this year.
Okay. Now, I guess the last show that I had went to was the Wallflower show. In, I think, Louisville, maybe?
The Wallflowers
Or
were
Knoxville, was
in
it?
Knoxville, Tennessee.
Now, Knoxville, Tennessee has a lot of stuff going on over that way.
I was at the Bayou.
Yeah, the Bayou.
Well, they've had a lot of stuff shut down too.
Have they?
Yeah. Yeah, one place that we used to frequent for raves called the Concourse shut down, and then the Brickyard shut down.
Oh.
There was a lot of concerts at Barley's too in Old City,
Yeah.
and I don't know if they still do a lot of live music.
Now I noticed.
No, I know the Breakaway has started doing a lot of EDM. and
Ooh,
stuff.
I like the Breakaway.
Now I was a little bit disappointed. I've learned you were talking about stuff shutting down. There was always this little independent movie theater in D.C. that I would go to, the E Street Cinema, and they would have. I've talked about it on the show before. Sometimes they would have Q&As there. Bruce Campbell was there. That's where I saw the Human Centipede Part 2 there.
Oh my lord! What are they doing showing that in public?
Did
What
people
the?
get?
Excuse me.
Did people get sick?
Well, here was the thing. I never have. That's the only one of the three that I've seen. So before the movie, this was the midnight showing.
And see, that wasn't even an actual sequel. That was more like an independent film. Like, here, let's see what we can turn it into.
Yeah. Well, the ushers came forward before the movie, and they had these brown paper bags, and they asked if anyone wanted one.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Here.
And then they said,
want-
you all have 15 minutes, up to 15 minutes to come out and get a refund.
Here, little Timmy. Here's your puke bag. I want to watch this with my 3-year-old.
It was disgusting. It was
Yeah,
disgusting.
the first one was disgusting.
I never watched it. When I read about it, it made me grossed out.
Yeah, just watching 3 humans, let alone 30.
Yeah.
Huh.
But yeah, this little
Look.
independent cinema, they would always every weekend they would have like throwback cinema, and they would show that movie The Room, and they would show another classic movie from the 70s or 80s.
You know, they made a third one.
I haven't seen it, but I did see that they.
Yeah. No, after watching the second one, I said I would not. I was like, if they make another one, I'm not. And
Yeah.
I will not.
What about you,
No.
Notlana? Have you watched those?
Oh, I was not paying attention there for a second.
Oh, so-
Watched what?
Human Centipede.
Yes, I've seen the first one. That was enough.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. A lot of people say.
I think I got
Yeah,
it from
see,
Star
the first-
Video in Big Stone.
Well, see, my thing is, I was able to tolerate the first one. The second one, literally, I was like, why? Why would somebody want to go back and make an independent film
of
of
this.
the first movie? Yeah.
Of this.
Because it wasn't. Because like it's not a sequel. It's literally about a dude who watches the first movie
Oh, yeah,
and
that's
copies it.
Yeah. In a
He's
more.
like, I'm going to make it and does it with like he wanted it to be 30 people, but I think it ended up being like 27 or something because a few people, because like where he'd like prepped them before the surgery.
They died or something,
Yeah.
didn't they? I thought
I'm
so.
like, why? And then like, why a third one? Why? I'm not even.
Yeah.
No.
Now, what about the first actual album or record that you all owned?
I don't even
I
remember.
know this answer.
Okay,
But it's going to be CD, because before I had families
Oh,
and stuff,
well,
I had to
yeah.
ask for my own boombox and whatever. I think it was around age 8
Okay.
or 9. And I was gifted it for Christmas, and then I asked for Electric Ladyland by Jimi Hendrix.
Okay.
And so that was the first CD, which in an odd twist of fate, I was at one time managing and running a bookstore in West Town Mall in Knoxville, and one of the females that are featured on the cover of that album walked into my store.
Really?
Yes, she handed me her testimony.
Interesting. You know what?
I still have that as like just one of those, like, that's as close to Jimi Hendrix that I could be, because her best friend dated him and she dated, I don't know, another member of the band.
So she
And-
ran in that circle during that time.
Yes, but at that time her grandchildren were running all around this Christian bookstore.
Interesting.
Yeah, I know. She handed me a testimony, so I'm glad she's doing well, and I hope she's still alive and well. She was a very lovely lady.
That's
Now-
nice. That's awesome. That's a great experience.
One of my first albums or CDs was a CD by a band named Milli Vanilli. That was the first. Now, do you know them, David?
So who was really singing?
Okay, well, I mean, in a sense, yeah. I know, yeah.
You know the story behind it?
I mean, no, I don't know the story behind it, but I know a lot of music that Biggie did
Okay.
was samples of them.
Well, I just
and then
think,
also freaking Juicy Fruit. They had that song. They had like it's like this.
Juicy Fruit?
Yeah, it's like these three guys, and they had like 3 different iterations of like the word juice.
really.
Yeah, like that song that he's got, and you'll hear in the back of it go juicy. That's
Like, that's juicy. Like, nope, not heard those.
Well, one of
That's it.
Milli Vanilli, one of them died a few years ago, but one of them actually still does. He has a radio show in Los Angeles, and I went to his Spotify page, and he can actually sing.
yeah.
He can actually sing.
Nice.
His name is Rob, I think, or no, Fabrice. Fab Morvan. But yeah, they had to end up giving their Grammy away. I have a Milli Vanilli shirt from when I was probably 10, and I can still wear it, but the sleeves are really short though. It's a little more snug because I got it when I was 10, but when I got it, it went down to my knees. It was so long, and now it's like the sleeves go up to like
David, what do you think? Is that like a bragging thing? Like, I can still wear this shirt since I was 10 years old.
Yeah, I still have the shirt. I'll have to post a picture of the shirt.
It used to be my nightgown, and now it's my
It's-
night on the town.
Yeah, it's like when I want to do like a 80s retro.
Do you wear it when you're on the corner, Adam?
Yes, that's the last time I did. Now let's see here. This is him singing now.
Oh, whoa, ho, 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 ho. This is the song that the Menendez brothers played at their parents' funeral.
This?
Yes.
Was it really?
Yes.
Interesting fact.
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
Interesting.
They played a million.
Yes. Lyle had this played at their parents' funeral.
Are you?
Mm-mm. I'm
Wow.
I
not
watched
kidding.
a lot of documentaries on that whole story, that whole crime, and never once.
Really?
Did you watch the dramatization?
No.
You need to watch the dramatization. It's in it.
I'm writing that down along with Juicy Fruit.
That is a good factoid because I had no idea.
Mm-hmm.
So they probably played this version, didn't they? Like the slower version.
Mm-hmm.
So they played "Girl, I'm Gonna Miss You" at their parents' funeral.
Yes. Yes, this was a song, like, whenever they played, like, the video, like, showing, like, pictures of the,
Yeah, like the.
this
Wow.
Is,
I'm going to have to YouTube or whatever you
That's a very odd choice.
it is.
I mean, I wouldn't want to play that at my mom and dad's funeral. I'm like, I wonder what made them choose that song.
Look, Eric had nothing to do with it. It was Lyle.
I would
'Cause-
play.
Lyle just going crazy, like, trying to make them seem innocent.
Right.
He's like, I want to play the most morose song I can at their funeral.
I mean, I would have probably
the
picked.
most morose song, or is that the most inappropriate song to play at a funeral?
I mean, I don't
To
know.
him, it would have been morose.
I mean, they could have. They could. I mean,
But
Touche.
he was just going straight crazy. But
he could have
at the
played.
same time,
He could have played. He could have played this song to his parents.
if it had been released,
I'm sorry, Menendez parents. I was just making a joke there.
no, realistically though,
But yeah,
I think they were still monsters, and I think they put those boys through abuse, and I think
Are they-
they would have never done what they did if they hadn't been abused.
endure. I agree with you. Now, did they get paroled out or no?
Did not yet. I don't think they've had their hearing yet.
And they've been in there, what, 30-some years?
Yeah.
35 years? Or since what, early 90s, wasn't
maybe, I can't remember. I think they're up for a sentence reversal or something to where they're only supposed to be getting like 50 so that they're eligible for parole or something.
it? Okay. Now,
But honestly, after 30-some years, I think they've done their time, especially
considering what they went through.
Because they just like everything got looked over because like they had let Juice get off whenever he was so obviously guilty.
Right.
And I mean, like at the same time, the boys were guilty, but like of manslaughter, not straight murder. Premeditated.
Premeditated.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of premeditated, not murder, do you all think that there's any animals that you all could beat up? Now, we don't want to, obviously, we're not going to hurt animals before people call in upset. This is the hypothetical.
Whenever I was a kid, I used to wrestle dogs. So,
okay.
I mean, I could beat up a wolf, I think.
You think you could take a wolf?
Yeah.
What's the most deadly animal that you think you could beat up, non-Lana?
Well, there's that whole like women versus bear. Like, what would you choose? I would say maybe maybe not a bear, maybe a koala bear.
A koala bear?
Yeah, red panda.
I think I could take a koala bear or a red panda, like something much smaller.
Now there are videos
polar
of videos of people trying to box kangaroos. I've seen
my God.
That. Have you seen this before?
That's a bad idea.
And I think the kangaroo wins almost every time. Now,
Yeah.
I don't know what I would want to take on really.
A turtle.
I mean, I think I could. I don't know those big turtles. The turtles are like that are
Snapping
huge.
turtle?
Yeah, I don't know about that.
You talking about the freaking Galapagos
Yes.
Islands turtles?
They're
Those big old
hundreds of
freaking-
years old or something like that.
Sound like some weird little horn whenever they grunt. Oh.
Or that
like,
or that big turtle in that what's that movie with Falcor? You know what I'm talking about? Never Ending Story. Have you
Yeah.
watched that before? That big turtle in that movie.
I don't think I have.
You haven't seen it?
If I have, it's been a really long time. I would have been.
You may
really
not
good.
have, but it's from I'd say 1985 maybe.
Yeah.
It's a mid 80s movie. Do you really think you could take a koala bear?
Yes.
What
I
a-
do. And I think a koala bear, they're sweet and they're nice, but I think I can take one of those. Once you go much further, I'd probably just bow out.
What about, let's turn it into, obviously we wouldn't do this either. This was emailed to me one time on the show. How many kids, 12 or 13-year-olds, do you think you could take? Now, they're all coming at you at one time.
I don't know. We're back in the era where like kids are like big, dude.
Yeah, I don't know if I could take that many.
I think at least 4 or 5.
You think after 4 or 5 you get worn down?
Yes, I think I could take 4 or 5 easily just because I'm so angry at teenagers right now because I have one. I don't like them.
I mean, I guess it depends on. I mean, I think it would be
I've got enough
easier
rage in me.
Yeah.
if you're in a
that's
ring
solid
and you're
point.
taking on one at a time. I think it would be easier than if you're taking on a horde of them all, like the
Take
foot
your
soldier
Roblox
just coming
and cram
in,
it down your hole.
or like in the Matrix when Neo is fighting Mr. Smith. Is that his name? Have you watched the Matrix?
A long time ago.
Long time ago. So let's get into a few little things tonight before we wrap up the show. You want to do some tongue twisters?
Seashells, down by the seashore.
Now, I tried to
Peter Piper picked a pick.
get a few easier ones tonight. This is something we like to do over time. And I do want to bring in a few in the future, some Mad Libs as well. But we'll start off. We'll go through and now I did write these several weeks ago. So you want to start off with one of these?
Can you can a can? Yeah, I got you.
Okay,
Can a can is a can or can a can a can. Okay. One too many A's in there.
33 thirsty, thundering thoroughbreds thumped Mr. Thurber on Thursday.
Lesser leather, never weathered weather better.
I think we all did fairly decent.
If a dog chews shoes, whose shoes does he choose?
That was very easy.
Yeah, that was not bad, too bad. Or I slit the sheet I slit, and on the slitted sheet I sit.
That was a little harder. I would have said a different word in the middle of
If
all
anyone
of that.
can guess, anyone listening or on the chat can guess where that is from, I will cash app them $5. So if they want to go back and listen to the replay, message us at Virginia. Let's see, Virginia. You can message us at the Other People's Show at Gmail, and we will send out if you know that. We're gonna do some more games. We did some games earlier. We attempted the trivia. It wasn't trivia, but the guess the theme with David and Jeremiah a few months back.
Yeah.
So we're gonna try that again. We're gonna also do some Mad Libs, and we're gonna get into another guess the scene, because you all did a guess the scene from No Country for Old Men.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do that again.
And it's so odd because, like, literally not, like, just a week or two after that, I just so happened to catch the exact scene on my For You page on Facebook.
That is hilarious because when I was
like, from start to finish, like, what you made us do is what I ended up.
so it was the exact portion of the scene. Now, had you seen that movie beforehand?
Mm-mm.
Have you seen it since then? Mm-mm. Only that one scene.
Only that one time, too.
No, I've actually only watched that movie one time all the way through.
And you know, it's funny. That man said one freaking word, and I knew immediately what I was watching. And I tagged you in it immediately.
Now, when you read the scene, even after you heard it, when you watched it, did it go watching it the way that you had envisioned in your mind?
Yeah.
So what
Sort
was
of,
going on was basically...
Yeah, I was like, yeah, it's very odd.
Because you know the guy's flipping the coin. If it lands on heads, he'll live. Tails, he dies, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was pretty cool. Well, do you all have anything else you want to discuss tonight?
Yeah, I guess I'm sitting in for Jeremiah, and if he shows up very soon, I do have a concert tee for Lamb of God for him. But since he's not here, he does not get it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, a little haggle stick.
Yeah, that's a like a little,
Now I do hope
reward
that,
for
in all
coming back.
seriousness, I do hope that he's not gotten sick on the turkey TV dinner. Because I know that's happened in the past, and I don't want that to happen.
It just depends on what brand, man. Some of those are really good.
Now, do you?
been doing a job lately.
Hey, I saw something about that. Now, that might be something to do some taste tests in the future and talk about some TV dinners, because there's so many TV dinners out there that I don't really eat them that much, though. What about you, David?
I used to. I eat myself sick on them.
Oh, yeah, I remember you saying.
I
Well,
eat
'cause
very,
I
I
used
eat
to-
very specific ones and don't buy them often.
I got a better taste test idea.
What?
The different Dubai chocolates.
Okay.
You see people trying. It's like the ones with like the actual like pistachio.
So we can do some
whatever
actually
filling, and then there's,
some
like,
good
ones
food
with,
on
like,
here for
cotton
once.
candy fillings. And
Ooh, cotton candy.
Yeah,
I'm not a
there's
not a
some with
fan.
like dragon's beard.
Really?
Candy
Now, I
filling,
had
yeah.
a grape a few weeks ago
Cotton
that
candy
tasted...
grape?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I had never heard of such a thing.
Yeah, they're quite amazing in the fact
it was
that,
just
it takes a second. You gotta like really like let it, like you gotta really put it on your palate. You gotta like
Yeah.
get in there, but it really tastes like cotton
Yes,
candy.
it does. I never knew there was such a thing. Now,
That's why they're so
typically...
expensive.
Typically on this show, we've only taste tested things that are traditionally not good. Biscuits with mustard. One time or a couple times we did the Bean Boozled.
You know, it's funny. Working at McDonald's, I actually have customers come in. They'll order like a plain biscuit and they'll ask for mustard packets.
Really?
And like that's literally the first thing that goes through my head. I like mustard on my biscuits.
Yeah.
I like mustard on my biscuits. But
Mustard?
only if it's got chicken, cheese, and pickles, too.
Mustard?
Mustard, chicken, cheese, and pickles. Yes, like a chicken biscuit with mustard.
No, the reason I
Pickles and
mentioned
cheese.
that is about 2 years
I
ago.
hate pickles, but I love pickle juice.
Yeah, I don't like pickles
yeah,
either.
there's something wrong with you two then.
I don't like pickles. And I meant to say this at the
Texture
very
issue
beginning
for
of the
me.
month, but we have been live on air on WLSD for 2 years this month.
You know, I think it's time for an intervention because we shouldn't be on WLSD for this long.
What? LSD?
Now,
No,
someone was
that's a
asking
joke.
me what that stands for, and it's Wise, Lee, Scott, and Dickinson counties. So that was pretty interesting to learn that.
My dad worked for this radio station back in the early 80s
Really?
and all the way through the 80s.
Very cool. Well, everyone, thank you for tuning in to the show. Please go to all the social media pages. That's the Spotify, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook, The Other People's Show. And we will be back. Tune in tomorrow night for the House of Rock and all things on WLSD 92.5. Good night, everyone.
And good night.
And I'm glad you all
heathens.
joined tonight.
Good night.
It was fun.